Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 615 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined as always by two industry leaders, Ben Funky Askren and Stephen Kyle Brackey. He is wearing a t-shirt, not a hockey sweater. Ben is wearing not an AC/DC shirt. I haven't seen that in a long time.
This is what you harassed me because I wore it 2 days in a row. It's starting to warm up in Wisconsin. Finally, we got crushed with snow. But this is one of them really damn comfy Rudis shirts.
I do like those.
I don't remember exactly what they're called, but they are so comfy. I will tell you that much.
I like that. When you said it's finally starting to warm up in Wisconsin, you said 5. I thought you were gonna say 5 degrees outside because I remember.
No, it's above freezing. So we got some serious snowmelt yesterday. We got some serious snowmelt today. I got mountains like this tall in my driveway of snow from being pushed to the side. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there.
All right.
Hey,
exciting.
615, Nat, and shout out to Nashville. I miss you guys doing the area code, so I'm just going to start doing it.
Okay, yeah.
Please do.
Nashville, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to have a big wrestling tournament in Nashville at some point.
Sounds good to me. We should have NCAAs there.
Yeah, they should. Hey, if Tulsa's on the
fun.
table, we should have
Oh my
frickin'
gosh.
Nashville.
Freaking Tulsa. Don't get me started again.
I still can't believe that.
Tulsa is
happened.
a wonderful place. I've played my first amateur disc golf worlds in Tulsa.
Ben, you don't actually believe
met some
Tulsa
great
is a
friends.
wonderful place.
You've never lived Tulsa.
Listen, I had a great time. It was 6 days, and I had a great time.
Where'd you stay?
It was outstanding.
But you stayed in a really nice place.
Yeah.
No, I did.
1%er Ben.
Most random story ever. I did my first day of jiu-jitsu ever in 2006 in Florida. I was teaching a wrestling camp, and I just mentioned to this dude, I'm like, hey man, I'm going to Tulsa after this. My buddy's picking me up at the airport. Shout out Gabe Conahan, and I want to play in the amateur world. I have no idea where I'm staying at this point. And he's like, hey, I got a buddy in Tulsa, and his buddy Bo Taylor, one-man army, meets me at the freaking restaurant, and we hang out for an hour. And he's like, here's my keys. Okay. He just let me crash at his place all week.
Dang. One-man army.
Gabe, yeah.
I remember there was a video on YouTube of you go take. I didn't know who this guy. I still don't know who he is actually, but you going take.
He was a famous internet troll in the earlier days of MMA.
Oh really? But he wasn't a real. I thought he was an actual good athlete or something. Is he?
I think he wrestled. He wrestled in junior college, I believe, with maybe Jake Shields and someone else in that circle in California. Yeah.
Got it. But yeah,
good jiu-jitsu. He was good jiu-jitsu too. I think he was a really solid purple belt. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
But yeah, I had a great time.
Do you have any belt? Do you have any belt in jiu-jitsu?
Black belt.
White?
Black.
You're not a black belt.
I'm a freaking Christian. I'm a black belt.
You gave yourself a black belt though. You didn't go through the.
And what are you gonna do about it?
I asked these guys because they were talking about what color belts people wear the other day in the office. I was like, how do you know when it's time to be the next color up? And Chris was like, yeah, they just decide.
Yeah, it's totally fake.
They just decide. It's not real orderly. Well, I got my legit brown belt in about 14 months of training. I competed in the Abu Dhabi Championships after 8 months of jiu-jitsu training.
Yeah.
And I submitted a black belt first round. Then I lost to the champion. And then in 14 months, I was a brown belt. Then I had a handful of different coaches, so I never stuck with one. And then I said, this is stupid. At this point, I'm a black belt. Maybe on 2016. It's actually inspired by Uncle Chael telling a story about Mark Schultz giving himself a black belt. And that's where mine came from.
Now you're black belt. So you were a legit brown belt, and
No, I'm a legit black belt.
Well, but okay, in the eyes of
I am legit black belt.
100%.
I fight black belt people, and I do great.
I know that.
So I don't play their game.
Right, but if you were playing their game, you went through the process of the brown belt, and then yes, it is kind of an archaic system with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I saw Chael's picking on you on Twitter last night too.
It's funny because I didn't see any of it till this morning because I went to bed and I don't read Twitter as much as I used to, and he had texted me not in the middle of the night, but 10:30. I was in bed, and I got up to that. It was weird. And then I'm scrolling through to put questions in for questions from friends, and I see he's like trolling me. First of all, he's taking shots at Gas Tank Gary, which is highly inappropriate and rude. Gas Tank Gary would destroy Chael Sonnen, first of all. And then he's talking about the.
You think so? That is a match. I would pay to see that match. Gas Tank Gary versus Chael Sonnen. We'll go folk style.
There'd be nothing left.
Yeah.
There'd be nothing left. I mean, 7 minutes in the gas tank. That's tough.
I don't think Chael could keep that pace for 7 minutes. You know,
No way.
He's in his 40s now.
No way. Yeah, 40s.
Maybe Gas Tank Gary's not wrestling because he refuses to do it without the fans there.
A true man of the people.
Yeah.
That's right. He's like, if they can't come, I
mean,
won't
before
perform.
he literally came out at the Cavelli Center, they would chant his name, and now there's nobody there to chant his name.
They literally chanted Gary.
Yes.
Gary. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. Oh, but we have a Gas Tank Gary update here, Ben. I bet you weren't expecting this.
What? I mean, I saw you tweet about him last night.
So I tweeted about him yesterday, and then someone replied to my tweet of the picture of Gas Tank Gary and said, rumor is he's getting a wrestle-off. Well, that's an interesting rumor. This tweet only has 1 like, though. So only 1 like. So, you click in, you see, well, who liked this tweet? Gas Tank Gary liked that tweet.
So what if it's just Gary? What if it's just Gary's burner account?
It's not his burner. That's his real account.
No, he's saying that the other one's
the other one.
Yogi Bear? Well, let's look. Let's look a little closer at Kelly.
Go ahead and go to
Let's see if
the
this
Yogi Bear account.
This is rather anonymous. This is from
Oh,
Columbia,
shoot.
Missouri.
Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think this is Gas Tank Gary's burner.
You never know.
He doesn't need a burner. Also, you can't. He's too close to gas to have any sort of burning element. He would just, everything would go up in flames. So GTG may be getting a wrestle off. I don't know. We'll see. That would be an exciting development. At least give the man another shot. Give him a shot.
Yeah. I mean, Orndorff. We talked about this. Orndorff's struggling. Put Gas Tank Gary in. Call in the replacement. Should have done it for senior night. Speaking
of, kind of late in the season lineup changes, and I don't know if that's what these are.
Andy Smith's on the bench, bro.
Well, hold on. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. We'll see. That determination, I think, is going to be made at a later time. They have till Saturday to change.
Saturday at noon Eastern.
To come to their senses, frankly.
Oh my God.
But Nick Reenan was listed for NC State.
Nick Reenan.
That is a surprise. I mean, Trumbull was the talk of the town for a couple of weeks. Perhaps that's true. And, Trumbull got pinned by a winless young man.
He did.
From Duke.
Well, that guy got lucky.
Okay, well.
He did take him down and then just slap on a cradle and pin him.
It's not like a stepping over on a gut situation. This is took him down with wrestling moves and then cradled him. Like, that's there's a little bit of a vulnerability there.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know, but perhaps that's what they're doing. To me, I wonder if it's just kind of a shot across the bow for Trumbull, or is it like, we'll see. Maybe they're gonna have a wrestle off this week. That would be.
Wait, ACCs aren't they this weekend also?
Right.
Sunday.
Or 2 weekends.
But they can change the lineup
Sunday.
up till Saturday. I think.
Saturday at noon.
How many matches has Nick wrestled this year?
Because he
Not
started
many.
off as the starter.
Yes.
So he would have wrestled a handful of them at least.
He's 5-1.
Oh, I got a 5-1. Well,
He
only lost to JALO.
Yeah. Who's good?
So,
And it was 2-0.
hey, I got a heck of a story for you.
Let's
Christian
go.
Piles, Jimmy, so pumped. I posted this picture of Jake Paul getting whooped. Guess who was doing the whooping?
Was it Ben?
Ben Darmstadt.
Oh my gosh, we need that video.
So I'm trying to get the video. How funny is that? The
I
goat,
thought-
Ben Darmstadt, putting the hurt on him.
I mean, it's not surprising at all. But I thought Jake was older than that.
Well, I think he's like 24 and Ben's like 22 probably. Ben's in his 4th year of college. He's not that young anymore.
Oh my gosh, they grow up so
Yeah.
fast, Ben.
I know.
I just hate to see it. Soon our guy Keegan's gonna be walking across the the podium graduation.
Yeah.
Brings a tear to my eye. How's Keegan doing? Or Keegan, excuse me.
I don't know. Good. Just I chatted with him last weekend about, he's talking about the Bitcoin stuff, and then they had a debate. They had a debate because it's the 4 of the guys that went to my academy all lived together, and they had a debate about something in the early days where Peyton Mako was totally wrong. He was so wrong, and they all told me he was wrong. But Peyton gets really stubborn. And so they said, Ben, is Peyton right or wrong? And I said, he's totally wrong. Like, there's just no way that was the case. And then it was funny. I started looking through some old Peyton Mako stuff, and I was roasting him about all of his old losses. But he did have a couple old good wins. I think he pinned Brayton Lee when he was like 14 at something, and there was someone else really good he beat. But every bad loss I was making fun of him for.
Nice. That's
he gets so mad.
Kids love that. Okay, so some pretty interesting results last night from Nittany Lion event.
Yeah.
The most notable one is Gilman gets pinned by Zach Sanders. He was up 4-0. Sanders stepped over on a gut and he pinned Gilman. That's kind of all there was to it. So,
do you really think that's the most notable one, or is that the one that is that the one you just kind of write off? Because you even mentioned it earlier. You referenced it earlier in the show. It's not like you said. It's not like someone stepped over a gut.
Yeah. You're right. It's notable in that it's a ridiculous upset of if that happened at the Olympic trials. That could happen at the Olympic trials. They're both probably going to be there. I think Sanders is qualified. Now that I say that, he might not.
He might not be. I don't know. Hang on.
I think he is qualified. Regardless.
I just realized how tremendous my hair looks, Christian. Why didn't you guys tell me?
Well,
look at that. It's like
honestly, you got on the call. You were a little low energy. I thought you had just woken up. So maybe
I slept a little bit later, like 7:30 this morning. But no, I was.
Your eyes look heavy. Is Kanon putting you through the ringer?
You know what I know? Kanon's gone. You know what I stayed up late doing last night? You're gonna be so proud of me, Kyle Brackey. I found the second episode of Tiger and I watched it after the NLWC event.
Nice.
You know what happened yesterday too, right?
No. Oh, you got a car accident. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah.
No, it sounded pretty bad. It sounded like his leg is like they were putting rods and pins in there. And
what the freak, Tiger?
Really?
Stop driving. He needs a driver, and not the.
That's what I never get. I mean, I'm not in this position, and I don't even really like driving. If I was as rich as Tiger Woods, or the other one I say is John Jones. John Jones shouldn't have car keys. John Jones should invest in himself and pay someone $60,000 a year to be his driver. Surely you could find a decent driver. Like, hire your buddy from high school who's got like a middle-of-the-road job. Hey, buddy, here's $60,000 for the year. Drive me around. Just keep me out of freaking jail. I mean, why wouldn't Tiger Woods do that? The insanity of it.
Well, he's all clean now. It's not everything. They said there was no
prescription drugs, because that's what it got.
Right, right. He's all clean now. They said, as far as they could tell, there was no signs of impairment, and he was running late. So I think he was just going too fast. He was meeting.
My wife thought it was sketchy, Kyle, because he was driving a Hyundai, and she said, "What in the hell is Tiger Woods driving a Hyundai?"
It's his event. It's like a golf tournament. It was a rental, Ben. Like, you could see the.
Sounds like he's sticking around to me.
He literally just hosted a golf tournament this weekend. And you can literally see the sticker on the door that says, like, Genesis Golf Tournament on it. So it's literally just a car they provided him for the week. He was going to meet Justin Herbert, the quarterback, to play a round of golf. Yeah.
Dang. He's good. He's young.
He won Rookie of the Year in the NFL. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
What the heck? Yeah, so that sucks. Hope he's all right. You got it, man. I mean, is there any?
We gotta have a part 3 if he comes back and wins again.
Yeah, he needs to do that. Okay, so I'm glad you finished it. Maybe tomorrow's show we'll talk about it. I don't know. I feel like we got a lot to get to today.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, let's talk about some. Dude, I was really impressed. I continue to be impressed with Vito Arujau. The ability for him to get back to his lace just over and over and over again is like, dude gets there all the time. I mean, he put Sean Russell out of the match with that.
Yeah.
Man, he continues to impress me. I continue to think he has a shot at the Olympic trials. If you would have asked me this 6 to 9 months ago, I would have said, nah, like he'll be 4th, 5th, 6th place, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I think he's got a shot. The other thing that came out yesterday, Nick Suriano wrestling the Mateo Pelicone, which doesn't that preclude him from wrestling at Big Tens because they're relatively the same date?
Suriano's going as well to Pelicone?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so he's not.
He ain't. Yeah.
Yeah,
He ain't not
NCAA's not happening.
Jeez, Nick Suriano, you let me down.
Yeah. So, yeah, Vito doing that is not terribly surprising. Yeah, he's in the mix. To me, it's I sort of took Gilman out of the conversation, and you guys kind of got on me, or maybe you did, Ben, when I did that. But like, if you're not solving the Seth Gross thing, and you're making it's all in the tactics with Gilman. That's why I just don't consider you have to make sound tactical decisions consistently, and you're gonna have to run a gauntlet of good decisions to make the team, and then win a 2 out of 3, right? He's tactically against at DeGlane just made no sense and lost in the match, and he got hosed in that. That was a bad call, but that's the kind of thing that's going to happen. And stepped over here, and then he couldn't solve the shin wizard from Gross at that thing. Now that was also another weird thing with the grounded calls, and you don't ever know how those are going to be interpreted. But we're talking about Spencer, and we're talking about
and then the
Nick
guy
Suriano.
at what was the tournament in? It wasn't Pelicone, the last one.
DeGlane.
Whatever that was, the DeGlane. Yeah, I mean the guy that obviously Gilman was beating him very clearly. They had that last second brain fart, but Suriano beat that dude easy. Like it wasn't really all that competitive, and so it's like, well, why were you so competitive with this dude that Suriano kind of whooped on? I would have. So if you have seen the odds makers make those books of like this guy's 2 to 1, 3 to 1, whatever. Yeah, I mean Gilman has definitely went from. I don't know if he would have been the favorite, but he would have been really close. He's definitely bumped down a few notches to where he's. I would say at this point he looks looking like a long shot to make the team.
He's a long shot, and long shots make the team all the time. Frank Molinaro was a long shot, but I think we'll look back on this bracket. I just think how Suriano looked. I think how Spencer Lee is looked now. Listen, it's tough when we haven't seen Spencer against someone even in his strata since a year ago or over a year ago at Fort Worth, right?
It's been a while.
It's been a really long time. And so I'm not entirely sure, but he looks unreal right now. Dayton, but my question is, how are these guys going to look at 57? I think, obviously for Spencer, no problem. But Nick, how's he going to look down at 57 flat? How's Dayton going to look at 57 flat? Because that is an area where I think Gilman is good off the scale, 57 kilograms. And that could be something that, all our prognostications and all my, hey, I don't think Gilman can do it. The scale could be something that, for lack of a better word, tips the scales back for Gilman, and that he can make it on a consistent basis and recover well. So I say all that to say, again, who knows? But it is notable.
Okay, Kyle Dake was impressive last night. The way he pushed Vincenzo around, Vincenzo's powerful. He kind of just pushed Vincenzo around like it was no big deal. It was super impressive. The Nolf match was so boring because he got the 1 4-point move super early, and then he was just really content to hang out, and Jason Nolf couldn't really put together a really good attack against him. So that match didn't really live up to the hype. Kyle Dake did Kyle Dake things, and that was that. Yeah,
he's just so freaking hard to score on. I mean, Nolf was in a few times, but it's just there's so much more to it with Dake. So I think he looks as good as we've seen him look, and it's everyone knows what's coming in early April, right? It's going to be the two big dogs.
It's going to be tremendous.
It's going to be awesome. I can't freaking wait. But also notable, Gabe Dean continues to just be a total beast.
He's so good.
Bo Nickel. I mean, and the crazy thing, it's not crazy because it's not a new development for Gabe, but he can really scramble. For a brute, He can do far ankle. He can do a lot from a lot of different positions and wrestle out of them.
Super flexible too. Looks like a guy who wouldn't be flexible, but he's very flexible.
Yeah, he really is. And normally like the brute guys just kind of like they just like focus all their skills in the brute things, but like he clearly has invested time in like the scramble, and part of that's just being in that Cornell room where that is just so emphasized, I feel. But he looks good. He beats. Yeah. I mean, if that last point that Gabe scored, it doesn't get any closer. That is, I mean, when I watched it, I was like, I guess Gabe stepped out. I mean, there was no brick, and it seemed like, but it was tough to see what went out first of Bose to give him that step out point. But he did beat him.
Yeah, and the scramble where he got the takedown. I think it ends in a leg attack, but it was a tremendous scramble or flurry of action between both guys.
Yeah, and is
Gabe Dean the number 2 seed? Is Gabe Dean the number 2 seed?
I mean, that's what I'm asking.
Who else is the 2?
Well, I don't think it can't be Bo now, and that's another thing. All these matches that have been happening on ARC thing and this,
they gotta count. There's so many of them now. You can't just not count them.
Yeah, there's basically been a season of action.
Yes, this is what we need. We need a season because there's no tournaments. We have all these matches. They have to count.
They have to count.
Wouldn't Zahid be the 2?
Zahid, what? But why?
I don't know. Why not?
I mean, who is he beating? What's he done? Like Gabe Dean's out here. Gabe Dean beat Bo Nickel.
Well, didn't Zahid go 0-1 at the DeGlane? Or not? He didn't do well.
Didn't Zahid win?
He did? No.
I don't think he won. He lost to someone pretty dang good. He lost to someone good, but I'm pretty sure he got bronze.
Okay. You guys have Zahid too. Damn, you guys have David, Zahid, Miles, Bo, Dieringer. Can you give Kozak a call-in number real quick?
Why is
it's not Kozak? It's
James Dean Rader.
No, I'm just saying. But Kozak knows.
Oh yeah. Good point. Why is Miles ahead of Bo Nickel?
Oh shoot! Kozak says Dean is not qualified for the trials, so he'll have to go to the last chance.
Yeah, I saw him.
Get this! Yeah. All right, how about this? So last chance, right? Oh, now they're taking finals at last chance. Is that what they said?
That's what it was previously. You just made the finals, right?
Okay, because Aaron Brooks is also not qualified.
Ooh.
He could win NCAAs.
But if he wins NCAAs, he's in. If he doesn't win NCAAs, which I think he will, but things happen, then he would have to go, and then they both would be there. Is everyone just going to default in the finals? Once they make the finals, you would think that'll be kind of anticlimactic.
Because the trials is the following weekend.
Could improve your seed.
Yeah, but yeah.
So Zahid lost 8-7 to Ramazanov, who is ranked 7th in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
From Russia. And then he went on. I remember now. He decked Marshagashvili in the bronze match.
Oh yeah. He looked good.
Got it.
Okay. So yeah, maybe he's number 2. I'm not sure.
And he's going to Pelicon as well.
All right.
Why isn't Last Chance is not on the USA Wrestling calendar?
I think they're looking for a new place for it because that too was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
They should
probably announce that because that's like 3 weeks away or something.
Well, about a month, 4 weeks, yeah.
We're on like February. We're on February 24, bro. It ain't very far away. Just consider announcing it. I don't know if you know this, but there's actually only 28 days in February.
Is that right? That's occasionally true. At times, that's not exactly the case. Okay. So we talked about it. Were there any other lineup changes from ACC pre-seeds that we saw at UNC? Wait. What?
We're done with.
What else you got?
Are we done with NLWC? Well, I got a good one. Shane Van Ness. He's a freaking savage. How about that?
He's entering Anthony Etchemendia class. He
killed Josh Saunders. He killed him.
Yeah.
That's good.
So did Etchemendia.
Like if you put Shane Van Ness in the Penn State lineup this year, I don't know what 141 probably. We take Nick Lee out, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see him All-American. Like he looked that good to me.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a game changer. I think he's, I mean, not a game changer because the game is already happening, but
Yes.
I think he's
I
a
get you. I see what
multiple NCAA champion type of guy. He's got, to me, he's a guy that's kind of got it all. He's got the physicality and the hand fighting. He is athletic. He's very technical. He has a variety of ways to score.
The friggin' pace.
His pace is crazy.
Pace is great.
I mean, he breaks guys that break guys, right? That's impressive. He's a game changer for sure. I'll just say it again, even though I already kind of corrected it. He's awesome. And, I wish we could see him get some more. Hopefully there's some junior stuff that he'll wrestle in. I think he's going to be a factor. I'm curious. So I'm already looking down the road, right? To me, he's like a guy that's going to challenge for spots on the senior level in the next 3-4 years, we could probably say. You would think. But where does he fit internationally? Is he someone that's going to be able to hold a 65-kilogram guy? Is he someone that's going to eventually be a 74? Because now he looks kind of – I mean, you can't figure he's you got to assume he's going to continue to grow.
Yeah. Man, it's hard to say at this point. And I think that's a different – who cares? Wherever he grows.
Well,
right?
Yeah, Ben, but it's interesting to think, like, where's he going to fit in is he someone that's going to be wrestling? Is he going to?
I mean, I was thinking more. Where's he going to fit in the Penn State lineup? Because you're going to have Bravo, Young, Nick Lee, and Bartlett back for another year.
Well, yeah, you can redshirt Bo or Shane, one of them next year, right?
Yeah,
and then
Nick Lee's gone, I guess.
Then Nick Lee would be gone, and then they slot in. I think Bo slots in at 41. Maybe Shane. I think Shane's bigger and would go 49.
Yeah.
He could wrestle 49 right away. Redshirt Bo after this season. Then he goes 41. But then that requires Roman holding 33 for good, which seems doable. He has not. I thought he was going to eventually grow out of 33, but it seems like he's kind of holding it.
Yeah.
So if they can keep him, but then that means Robbie Howard needs to stay at 25, at least a couple more years. Unless they could do some redshirt stuff with him because Gary Steen's coming in at 125. So the bottom line is Penn State obviously going to be fine at these weights. They may have to do some redshirting and some juggling to not have guys lose years, but there's paths to make it all happen and no one losing a year on the bench. And
Kozak just put in there. Where's Facundo fit?
Well, it's 65, right? I mean, you think he's not?
Jolie's not that good.
I think he may have to suffer a little bit at 65. Well, I think also, okay, let's just do the Penn State, future. I think eventually Aaron Brooks grows out of 184.
84?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
He does not strike me as big. Like, I think say Trent Hidley looks bigger to me.
He might be, but he's over 200. I think.
Aaron Brooks is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so. And then, so I think maybe not next year. Maybe he holds 84 another year, but eventually he moves up, and then maybe Starocki goes up. I think Facundo has a nice frame where he could kind of be. I know he's at 170 right now, but maybe he sucks down a year and then redshirts, or maybe he redshirts right away.
Yeah, I just didn't know if he makes 65 because he has a big frame.
He does.
Yeah.
And you got to figure once he gets in that college situation, he's going to be even bigger. So we'll see with Facundo. He's tough. Maybe 65 is just not even. That may not even be a discussion, right? But if you're looking for a spot where he fits, that's where he fits. What? You're making a face, Ben.
You see what John Kozak put in the chat?
What?
Did I miss it?
Abe Dean, Mark Hall, Nate Jackson, Aaron Brooks, all not qualified. What? How is Nate Jackson not qualified? This guy's been in the street. Just give him a damn spot.
Oh, my gosh. That's insane.
How is he not qualified?
So there's going to be – so last chance is going to be insane. Even if –
that way at least.
Man, they're going to be crossing their dang fingers that Aaron Brooks wins NCAAs too.
NCAAs. Seriously, right?
Because I think he takes one of those spots. I mean, he's tech Nate Jackson before. Mm-hmm. And then Nate
Jackson. So okay, we didn't talk about this one last night. I watched Nate Jackson versus Kyle Snyder first, and then obviously I'd watched Nate Jackson versus Jaden Cox last month, and I thought, man, Nate Jackson has gotten so much better. And then I went and watched him lose to Max Dean. I'm like, damn it, I did not see that one coming. I thought he'd beat Max Dean very handily, and he was losing. They made it close at the end, but I didn't see that one coming. Maybe Nate Jackson bumps up to 97 kg or something when he sees those guys. He has beaten Mark Hall.
The 86 kilogram list goes on too of guys that aren't. I mean, Trent Hidley, we just saw him beat Miles Amin. Drew Foster and Rocky Elam, add them to the mix as well. That's
Dang.
Pretty crazy.
Wow.
That's insane. And I remember one thing about Last Chance. Like, if you qualify at any weight, you can go any weight. Is that a thing? Did I make that up? I'm pretty sure that's been a thing in the past.
I think you made that up. Maybe
up.
up. Maybe you could go up and not down. I don't know.
Up but not out.
Damn. That wouldn't make sense.
Dang.
It wouldn't make sense to let you change weights the following week. I don't feel like. Wow, that's crazy.
I remember. Okay, I do know this.
I mean, you look at 97, like the notable names that aren't qualified. It's like Tim Dudley and Eric Schultz.
Yeah, why would you not just be like, okay, I'm a 97 now? I mean,
that's probably what Nate Jackson will do, right?
I don't know if that's what he'll do, but it will get him in the trials, or it's a much higher likelihood that he would get into trials. It's crazy that he's not qualified. Do we need to expand? What do you think of why? Do you like how limited the Olympic trials field is, Ben?
Well, it's always been that way. I think they've made it tougher. I feel like it kind of got a little bit lost in the shuffle with Corona this year and everything that's happened. But I think they've tried to limit it just a little more than they had in previous years. I mean, like I think at the U.S. Open, for example, was top 5 instead of top 7. Yeah, I don't mind, say, a 16-man bracket. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I don't know if I kind of waver. It's like I'm cool with it, and then I'm also like, then I see guys like Aaron
At some
and
weight,
Gabe.
you're cool with it.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm only selectively cool with it, am I really?
Because
cool
you probably
with it?
wouldn't be cool with it at 97 when you look at who's on the outside looking in right now.
86.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Hey.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bracky, did we save that thing for Christian this week that we wanted to talk about? It was the likelihood of people to win the trials. Do we have that still?
Yeah.
Maybe
let me
it's
find
there,
it.
Maybe it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a cool thing. That was kind of what I was talking about with Gilman, where they had it listed in percentage chances to win as opposed to like the 3-1 or 3-2 or whatever.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Oh, okay. I'm curious how they did 57, because I think I have my opinions.
Whatever
obviously.
it is, you're gonna bump Spencer up a bunch of percentage, I'm sure.
You think? Yeah.
I feel like they gave a handful of guys a decent chance to win. Is what if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I
figure-
think it's just like 2 or 3 guys really in the mix there.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we gonna talk about that now, or did you find it? 'Cause
Yeah.
The other thing,
I'll
another huge thing that
text
came
you,
out
Ben.
Tuesday news dump. The NCAA said that the Winter Championships could have 25%.
Where did you see this?
Did you see this?
No, I did not.
What are we news dumping here?
The NCAA announced that Winter Championships can have up to 25% fans.
Okay. So they could do that in Missouri?
I don't know what St. Louis's rules are, and it doesn't address that. In this article, it addresses the men's and women's basketball, and it says men's would be fine to have up to 25, but women's can only have 17%.
What?
I remember talking to Brian Smith, and they said something. And I don't know if this is true, or if he was just spitballing with me on the phone, hanging out with a buddy. But he said if this was the case, it was 25%. They could potentially put it in Edward Jones Dome and then do 25% of 60,000, and still get a decent number in there.
Okay. So, all right, I'm looking at these percentages. It's kind of tough because it's not in like an order here. So maybe we can organize this and then do it
Tomorrow or something?
do it tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
When it's better organized. Okie doke. All right. Are you ready to move somewhere else, Ben?
Let's see. Is there any other? Well, we talked
Sometimes
about
you get
Max
mad.
Dean. We talked about Jane Van Ness. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Sorry, I want to be thorough.
We started to talk
Well,
more about.
Honestly, like just the Van Ness thing, I'm not even remotely like surprised or alarmed. Just like
That he killed Josh Saunders that bad.
not at all. I mean, I like Josh
Really?
Saunders. Yeah, but dude, I mean, I just think Van Ness is he's just the truth.
You remember Josh Saunders did beat Dom Demas, right?
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
I know.
Okay.
I just think it's not about Josh. It's about Shane.
Yeah.
Although I suppose first match since he was hurt is notable, but I didn't expect any regression there. He's fantastic. So MAC pre-seeds are out. Anything interesting there?
No, everything went
As expected.
as expected. Maybe the only thing we'd heard that maybe Colton Hawks had beaten Jeremiah Kent in wrestle-off, but Kent is the guy in the pre-seeds for Missouri at 184. So
Hey, Ben, I heard a rumor that Missouri
Oh.
to the Big 12. What would you think about that?
Did you tell me that rumor?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so someone else told me that rumor yesterday.
It was me.
But
we weren't on the show then.
We were not on the show. I think that'd be cool.
is this good sources?
Good sources. Big 12 like
I mean, they've been loving some action, but yeah, I think it makes sense. The Big 12 becomes really, really good at that point.
I
Oh,
hate
sorry.
it. I kind of hate it for the MAC, but at this point, the MAC is just like such a shell of what it was. But like when the MAC was UNI and Missouri, and then like Ohio and Kent State were like way tougher than
Old Dominion.
and Central Michigan. Dude, that was a really, really tough. Now ODU doesn't exist, and Ohio and Kent are down, and UNI's in Big 12. It's very sad.
I think this was my junior year. Max were at Kent State that year, and it was an awesome tournament. And we finished behind all the new teams. Like we would have won the old MAC. I know, but like Missouri, UNI, Old Dominion, and then we were fourth.
Oh man.
Yeah, we had a great tournament, great team.
Yeah. So kind of a bummer, but it'd be cool, man. It would make Big 12 so awesome. It'd be cool to have another just to see. Big 12 wouldn't approach Big 10 level, but it would be a powerhouse conference for sure.
We said this was coming like 3 or 4 years ago, not Missouri to Big 12, but that the fact that the Big 12 was building and only going to get more. And if you look at the allocations they've gotten, except this year, and it's BS, they've gone up every single year because the coaching has gotten coaches. They've upgraded coaches at a lot of places, and that obviously you get UNI. That was big. We thought it was going to be big when they got Fresno State.
R.I.P.
Because that was trending in the right direction before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Wyoming's in a better spot. Iowa State's in a better spot. West Virginia's in a better spot. Northern Colorado's in a better spot. Air Force is in a better spot. South Dakota State, North Dakota State continue to be really solid. You get Missouri, it's the second best conference.
For sure. And it probably is right now. The ACC
ACC
a different sort of flavor because there's only 5-6 teams.
There's 6 teams, right? That's what hurts it. It's not as deep, but 5 of the 6 teams are top 25 teams.
Yeah. And the top 2 right now are fantastic.
Yeah, trophy contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. The trophy race is going to be so fascinating this year. I suppose it's, and I'm talking about 2 through 4, right? Iowa, Penn State, we have to assume are going to be the top 2, but, the amount of teams that – am I wrong in saying that there's a lot of teams that could finish in that 3rd, 4th
No.
Why are you
spot?
saying that Penn State is such a guaranteed number 2? Because you guys don't even have them ranked number 2, do you?
Well, you've got so many points. One, the thing
Well,
with
I'm just saying. I'm just reading your website. So
Yeah.
you guys actually have Penn State at number 3.
Right, but we also expect
Kirk Fleet.
to outperform what we have him ranked right now. We don't
Jesus.
we don't think he's going to be around a 12 guy.
Aaron Brooks is ranked 4th, and I think everyone is going to pick him.
Listen, I don't make the rankings. You guys do.
Well, I'm just
I know. We're telling you why they're ranked third in the rankings.
Are you telling me why the rankings are wrong?
No, I'm telling you why the rankings are based on results.
Yeah. We don't just put true freshmen.
We don't
11th
just throw
because-
Bo Bartlett 11th in the country for beating
I'm gonna burn the rankings
441
still down at
pounders.
some point, guys.
Huh?
Ben,
If
you think our rankings are bad-
you can't burn the Rankers Guild down when it's literally based on results, and other sites are just throwing guys in on the eye test.
That's terrible.
I don't. Well, there's
And
another
then
site
those-
that makes rankings on the Big Ten Network, and I looked at some of those, and I knew what in the hell is going on with this ranking.
Yeah.
Theirs aren't even like bad. They're not. It's another site that's
Yeah.
I
atrocious.
don't even know what site you're talking about because I don't look at them. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think anyone does, fortunately. Okay. Moving on. I guess we won't talk about the trophy.
we can talk
should-
about the trophy if you want.
Okay, yeah. So the 2 through 4, I guess we can say. I mean, I just think Penn State's going to get second. I
Okay.
think they have the most. I don't know. I mean, here's a question. I thought about this before I fell asleep. Like, what is the most NCAA champions a team has ever had and not won it? What do you think that number is? I don't know the answer. I'm curious. Is it probably like 3?
I also do not know the answer. I would say three would be my guess. Because four would put you at roughly 100 points, which 100 points wins in a lot of years. And then that's without anyone else on your team scoring. So I would guess it has to be 2 or maybe not even 3, maybe just 2.
Yeah. That's my thought as well, like probably in the 3 range. And you look at Penn State and you got to figure they have 4 pretty strong title contenders, 33, 41, Starocki and Brooks. And shoot, I mean, maybe throw in heavyweight. So I think they just have so much more upside than these other teams. Like Virginia Tech, they have, in my, and listen, this is maybe the biggest Tech homer there is, but they have 2 number 1s that I'm not feeling very confident are going to win the NCAA tournament. So they have nowhere to go.
Oh.
They can't earn more ranking points at 165 and 184.
Yeah.
Mackay got hurt against Wenzel, who he was losing to at the time. Bolin, I just don't see beating Aaron Brooks. He's got to get by Hiley maybe 2 more times. And those matches are just razor thin. So it's tough. And same with Latona. Latona's 2, but like we were talking about yesterday, there's so much unknown with that, right? So
Yes.
the Hokies have really high rankings.
And the Big Ten guys.
Right. And then also looking at the team, you got NC State's in the mix. How about Arizona State kind of sneaky in there? Michigan?
I mean, I don't like how low you have Nebraska, and I don't like how low you got Missouri. Move them up.
Okay.
No. Listen, people would be bitching a
What
lot
if I
less
start my
about
own site?
rankings.
Hard
Ben's
B-bomb
more
from
correct
Bracky.
rankings.
I'm just sick
Ben's
of
more
it.
correct rankings. I'm just gonna reference them every day.
It's stupid. Like, people would like the rankings more if we had a full season and had full results on these guys. I'm sorry that most guys have 8 to 10 matches, but we're not going to change the way we do things and just throw people blindly in there.
Dorks. Bracky's fired up. All right.
Yeah, because it's... I'm done.
Poor Bracky.
But listen, Nebraska and Missouri have significant ability to move up.
Why do you
I would
think
even
that?
say, Nebraska, when I think about their lineup, they could have an All-American at 25, 41. Rich Love is actually kind of interesting at 49. Probably not 57. They're not scoring in there. 65, low outside shot. 74,
He's not been great.
very good shot in the finals. Venz is turning around, and when Venz wrestles Venz like he get really high, and Eric Schultz is going to finish really high. So I think they have probably 4 or 5 All-Americans, 2 of which can make the finals. That is top 5 points for sure.
You think they're
And
going to
then
get 5
Missouri,
All-Americans?
I said 4 or 5. Yes, I think Nebraska will get 4 or 5
I think
All-Americans.
I think 3 or 4.
I think at least 2 of them will be really high.
Although Christian Lance, out. That would not.
Lance, there's another outside shot.
All right, so 8 AAs for Nebraska, says Ben Askren.
And then Missouri, obviously, we already kind of detailed Missouri and how low ranked they are compared to how good they are because you guys hate the Tigers.
Okay, well, listen, Ben. It'll all come out at NCAAs, and there have been times where we've had some really good Missouri teams through the regular season and through the conferences get to NCAAs, and difficult things happen. So we'll see what happens at the NCAA tournament. I think they're ranked appropriately. Obviously, we are Team Keegan here on this podcast.
How many times do we have to sit here and say that we think that all these guys are going to outperform what they're ranked right now? They just haven't had the opportunity to wrestle these guys yet.
I mean, just all I hear is excuses, Bracky.
All I hear is a Homer Ben.
Yeah, Homer. All right, let's do 133 tiers. Let's get it freaking going.
Ooh, tiers. This is fun. Let's do this.
Yeah. Maybe this will catch your fancy. I was also thinking about 25 tiers yesterday because I was thinking about how, we had a tier 2 that was like Camacho and Latona, and that didn't quite feel right, but it was kind of what made sense. It's like for different weights, there's different thresholds for creating that separation. Like at 33, it's a lot more clear, but to avoid having a mega tier, the criteria for separation is a lot lower for certain weights, and 25 is an example of that. 33, I'm curious what you think about this tier 1 we have of Dayton Fix, Roman Bravo Young, Austin DeSanto, and Mickey Philippi. What do you think about that?
Ooh, does Mickey Philippi really fit?
Well, I think so. But yes, I think that's where the debate is in my mind. Because Mickey has the win over Dayton, right? He's got that win. He does have he lost to Alvarez at the scuffle. He's undefeated this year. He's looked good. How do we kind of weigh that?
What did he take at NCAAs 2 years ago? It was either low or he didn't place. I feel like.
He lost to RBY in the blood round.
Yeah.
Pretty close match.
I don't feel good about having him. I know he beat Dayton. I don't feel good about having him in tier 1. I mean that's one match where he beat him. I guess let's see who he lost to last year. His loss last year.
He only lost to Alvarez.
Yeah, how did he not wrestle anyone better than his best win was number 20 last year? How's that even possible? Because he wrestled a full season.
I'm pretty sure.
I guess he beat Travis Piotrowski.
Corbin Myers missed last season due to injury.
And why didn't they wrestle this year? Did Pitt and Virginia Tech not wrestle?
Philippi was out for COVID reasons, for what I understand.
But then I don't see that Corbin Myers wrestled against
He didn't.
Pitt
They
either.
wrestled Prada, I think.
Oh, okay.
But they knew Philippi was going to be out.
So they just didn't wrestle him. Dang it. Well, we'll see that one at ACCs.
Yes.
Corbin Myers looks like a monster right now.
And he has a win over Philippi 2 years ago as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I'm kind of getting swung. You want to take Mickey out and put him at tier 2?
Let's go Philippi tier 2. I mean, because he would have to beat multiple of those tier 1 guys, and I don't see it. Maybe
I don't either.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right, Ben. That's why we discuss these things as a family. Okay, so tier 2, I think is also kind of pretty well defined. I don't know if you've been paying attention to Mikhail McGee, but he has been really solid this year, impressive.
Yes.
Believe undefeated, as is Corbin Myers and Sammy Alvarez. So I feel pretty strong about those dudes. 33 is interesting because in years past, it's this is the deepest, toughest weight, and it's good at the high end. But man, it falls. You're about to see after this tier, it gets really dicey.
Yeah. Soriano and Miches just didn't show up for work. I mean, that doesn't help it. For real.
Yes.
Yeah, because McGee being in tier 2, when I saw that, I'm like, really? Is that for real? And how about his name? I always laugh. Mikhail is spelled Michael.
That is confusing. I would
That's
have.
true.
It's very
Gone-
confusing.
Would have gone with it.
He has a nice little resume this year. He's 6-0, 4 bonus point wins, but he majored Bianchi, he majored Madrigal,
Yep.
he beat Greenwood, who's a top 20 guy, and he just beat Redding, who beat Madrigal recently and got in the rankings. So
Man, he lost to Corey Cabanaban last year. Are we
Who?
really gonna put him in there?
McGee.
Yeah. I don't know who Corey Cabanaban is.
no, he didn't.
He beat him 10-5.
I'm
Yeah,
looking- Oh, dang it all.
All right, Ben.
he was
looking at the
undefeated
wrong
last
thing.
year as well
Idiot.
in a redshirt year.
So yeah, he's
How
he's
do you
looking
get
good.
3 medical losses. That's weird.
I think he made. Looks like he probably made the semis a
Semis?
scuffle and then defaulted out. Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay, sure. Here too.
Sure. All right.
Yeah,
then-
133 is usually much better than this.
This is not great. 33. Tier 3. I put Ragusan and Cannon there, just kind of on their own.
Why do you think Raguson's that much better than some of these other guys?
I don't know. I'm just watching him wrestle, watching him at senior nationals, and,
Also-
and looking at this list.
Seeing Hernandez reminded me we never really circled back to the ACC pre-seeds. He wasn't the starter for
yeah.
North Carolina, and he's like a top 12 guy. They went with Joe Heilman, who actually just beat Louis Hayes in one of the final duels of the year. So that's interesting. And then I think Ben started to mention it before we went to something else, but Stan Smelter was in for instead of Andy
I
Smith.
did.
That's enough. That's enough.
But oh, look at that, getting coffee delivered to him.
What in the heck?
Doesn't watch.
Um,
Oh,
Cute.
did she draw that on there?
She must have. See if it washes off. She drew it. It's not permanent ink. We're good.
But I don't think Virginia Tech has made their final decision yet. It still could be Smelter, but I don't think it's totally final yet.
Dang. So,
Sorry, back to 133 tiers.
we're back to 30. How about UNC's lineup features no tags and
No tags.
no Jamie Hernandez? Those are
That's
like,
wild.
I mean, Hernandez I was really high on after his UWW performance. The tags were like blue chips. Gabe Tag
Yeah,
beat
multiple of those guys
RBY.
beat
Hernandez
Roman
beat
Young.
RBY too.
Everyone beat RBY.
Yes, both of them did.
Everyone's beating RBY, but they can't. Yeah, RBY's better. So, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I just think it's eye test with the tiers. Ragusan, I watched him at senior nationals. This is a guy who looked really great. I mean, we're operating on such limited opportunities to watch these guys. I'm just making an assumption. He's really talented. He's looked really good. I think he's better than Moshe Schwartz and Louis Hayes, who have not looked, in my opinion, that great this year. And Chris Cannon,
So I feel like when we do tiers, I feel like it's like there needs to be some differentiation. And when I see your tier 3 and I see your tier 4, I kind of think a lot of those guys look similar to me. Maybe Chris Cannon gets bumped to tier 2. Maybe that would be the move. He has a handful of decent wins last year. I mean, I don't really love moving him there, but maybe that would be better.
well, I just see separation. I think it would be a leap to move Cannon up that high, personally.
But
And-
Raguson's only had 2 matches at 133. That's why I'm having a hard time putting Ragusan above everyone that you have listed in tier 4. He's only had 2 matches. He got his butt kicked by RBY, and then I can't remember who he beat. It was someone who was not all that good.
RBY's a butt kicker. That's why he's not tier 1.
Yes.
I know that, but I've watched Ragusan look good for like since October, okay, and I think he'll be big enough.
He also lost 3 high school folk style matches last year, Christian. Does
Okay.
that change your opinion at all?
And then made the senior national finals. Like he's clearly taking a step up.
I mean, if you want to go
Freestyle
back to
doesn't
that,
count, damn it.
No, what?
And it's a different weight class.
Now hold on, Ben.
Ben, you shouldn't have said that.
Ben, you just said that. You just said
Well, I'm just asking because that's what you guys tell me.
for
You
rankings.
guys tell me.
For
Freestyle
rankings,
doesn't count.
Ben, for rankings result for
Oh,
like
so
rankings
now we're just
purposes.
gonna be selective. On tiers, freestyle counts. On rankings, freestyle doesn't count.
Yes, because
Got
Tiers
it.
is talking about like, can this dude win a national title, or like, where is he on the pecking order to win a national title? And if we want to use freestyle to determine our personal opinions of that, we will. I don't understand what is so hard to understand about this.
Yeah. He's being willfully. What are you being willfully? Obstinate? Maybe that's the word.
Ignorant.
I don't want. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not. That is not true. I don't like the fact that you guys won't move Gable up to number 1 over Mekhi Lewis, or I'm sorry, number 2. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think
and
it's
I'm
time
making
for
this
that.
point very loud and clear.
I think Gable
Oh,
Stevenson.
you're gonna do it? Oh, you agree now?
I don't do the rankings. It's not
He
my
has no
decision.
power.
It's not my decision
No,
to
I'm just
make.
kidding.
But I can say that my opinion is that Gable should be ahead of Mekhi after.
You
Calling it?
think?
It's an injury to fall, but you know, pound for pound, you're down 3-0 to someone. There's something to be said for that.
Thank you.
But I didn't feel that way before. He's got Mekhi has better wins than Gable. Gable has better win or not as good wins, and he lost to Anthony Cassar twice. I know it's tough, but it's also true.
All right.
Okay.
All right, leave it as is. I'm good with that, and then we'll go.
So you don't think that Ragusin is like probably he has a little more upside than like a Moshe or a Trombley or.
I mean, if we're saying upside over the course of the next couple of years, yes. If we're saying upside over the next couple of weeks, no, not really. I think while he may be big for 125, I don't think he's big for 133 at all. I don't think he's that big. So I think he's gonna be a little bit undersized. I don't think free folk style is his best style, and I also think relatively highly of when you look at that tier 4, Louis Hayes, Jared Van Vliet, Jarrett Trombley. These are really good wrestlers. So I'm having a hard time. And when we say tiers, I think about separation, and I just don't see that.
Okay.
I lean more.
I mean, if you want to say,
here.
give me, what's up?
I lean more CP here. Tier 4, they've just all taken turns beating each other. They've never beaten anyone above their tier. I don't know.
Raguson's 1-1 at 133. 1-1.
I understand that. I look at everyone in tier 4 and I say he's better than them.
Yeah.
I don't know about Cannon. I've watched less Chris Cannon than Ragusin. I know CP's really high on him, so maybe I would put Cannon in tier 4, but
No, you just stop.
okay.
He's gonna win big times.
Cannon's like bonus to everyone this year.
He's killing.
Yeah,
he's,
Cannon
he's-
And his best win is like Boo Dryden, right?
He pinned Brew Dryden and he beat Alex Thompson 14-1.
He had a chance to wrestle RBY and didn't. He wrestled that day and then didn't wrestle RBY.
Well, he had his reasons.
He pinned Jay Schwarm.
He
He did.
He did.
Jay Schwarm was a classic pin or get pinned kind of guy.
Yes.
I kind of loved it.
The one thing that makes me want to move him down is he got tech fall by Pat Glory last year, and I know Pat Glory's good, but when you get beat up that bad, that makes me want to put him back in tier 4.
Okay, a couple things. One, Pat Glory would be tier 1 at basically any weight he entered. Okay, so getting tech
That's
fall.
not true. That's not true.
I think that's true. You don't think he would be?
You can't move Pat Glory up to 141 and put him tier 1.
Okay, if he was a 141 pounder, he probably would be. But he's a 25, 33, whatever he is. He's elite. He would be a clear. I don't know how you would do it with Spencer because but he would be clearly separated from the rest of the field, not named Spencer Lee. So I don't fault him for that. All right.
17-0 though.
So that's okay. I mean, yeah. I think. Listen, we have him tier 3. It's not like we have him like contending for a title here.
All right, fair enough.
Man,
Let's go to the next weight class.
all right,
We have to
141. I think this one was another one that is pretty defined, but we'll see what
Yes,
Ben thinks.
This one seems easy.
141. Tier 1 is obvious to me. Sebastian Rivera, Jay Nyerman, Nick Lee.
Yes.
That to me is obvious. And I think tier 2 is kind of obvious as well. Alan Hart, Ian
agree.
Parker, Chad Redd, and Dom Demas. And then I think there's
Feels right.
another layer of separation for tier 3. Tariq Wilson, Dylan Duncan, who we never talked about that Duncan-Chad Redd match, which is maybe a case
It
for
was weird.
Dylan Duncan. A lot of people thought Dylan got hosed, and I was like, oh man, because I didn't get to watch it live. I was watching something else. So I went back and watched, and it really did. It seemed like Duncan was going to win for sure because it looked like he turned him. but it was a fast 2 count, and I don't think it was too near fall when I rewatched it. And then Chad got out, reversed him to his back. I felt like he was the rightful winner of the match. I know Illinois fans may not agree with that, but I thought they kind of got it right. I didn't think it was some hose job there. But Duncan proved he can absolutely compete with Chad. But Chad kind of has, historically, he has those matches, right, where it's like, should this guy really be with Chad Red? I don't know. But I still think that's a differentiator in why those guys are tier 2, and Dylan and Tariq and Sherman, Dresden Simon, DJ Lauren are kind of in the back there.
Yeah.
That
I
all?
like this. It's really easy. There's nothing to argue about.
I don't like that. Come on, there should be a discussion.
Another weight class. We don't need to make it up if it's not there.
Okay, but I wanted to call back to something else.
Uh-oh.
With 125 tiers, a name I forgot because this team hasn't wrestled yet. But Luke Werner is really, really good.
Lock him in.
Yes.
Oh, they roasted you guys. They put you guys. They didn't roast you.
They didn't roast.
I don't know what
They
correct
were,
terminology.
I would say, angling for a high ranking for Luke Werner.
Which I'm here for.
But they weren't angling
that
for
was
that
very
ranking
good.
before the season.
Yeah, that was very good for the marketing department. They picked video of you guys saying really specific things. I like that. They did a good job.
Now who did he beat?
He beat Courtney and Teskey in 2018.
Okay, so that was 2018. Oh my gosh. We're talking about. That's
correct.
Ancient history.
Last year he had losses to Logan Heil,
Willie
and
Gerard,
Willie Gerard.
and Jake Ferry.
Jake Ferry's fine.
That's fine?
Mm-hmm.
You approve that loss?
Yes.
That's a Kyle Brackey approved loss.
As well as Drew Hildebrand. That's fine.
We approve that one. as well.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Those guys are very different wrestlers now. Why didn't you have a problem when we had them ranked like 18th to start the year before you guys weren't going to wrestle?
I don't think they had a problem. I think they're just, they're just kind of fighting for the guy. It was all fun.
Okay.
I thought it was
having a
good
good time.
fun.
Yeah. It's better than some of the emails we get, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, 149. I think that'll be the last one we do. I think. So 149. Oh my gosh. Tier 1. This was tougher. I went Sasso, O'Connor, Mahler, Llewellyn. I had a hard time with Boo. I kind of felt like.
Ooh, as you should.
You think he should be tier 2? I'm like teetering.
Feels like it.
Why?
He can't beat Mahler.
I mean, he literally just had a tiebreaker match.
Yeah,
with
but he
him.
just loses to him in overtime.
This
I
don't
think-
Never
make
beat Mahler?
sense.
I think the answer is no, right?
No.
Okay, so why should he be tier 2 because of that?
Because I think O'Connor's better than Mahler. I think Sasso. I mean, I think Mahler is like. He could win for sure. I don't expect
He
him
could
to.
definitely win.
He could definitely win. Ben seems to be high on this young man.
I mean, over the past 2 years, Mahler's 42-1. Who beats Mahler?
Yeah. No,
And he was 33-5 as a freshman.
he's awesome.
All right, so we got Mahler tier 1 all by himself.
Listen, but that's my point. I don't think Boo's tier 1. Even though I put him in tier
You know
1.
what? I'm looking through his wrestling stat. He is 33-3 over the last 2 years, so maybe he is.
I mean, what are we doing here?
He got pin slayed by
Pat Lugo, the
Lugo.
number 1 seed, who
Yes.
was tier 1.
That's a tier 1 guy. He got totally destroyed and pinned in
He
a
got
way.
thrown to his back.
It was bad.
I mean, it wasn't good, but he got thrown to his back and pinned. Okay.
Why are you making me have to talk all bad about Boo? You know that.
No, you're the
I don't
one
wanna
that
do
is, for some reason, trying to put him in tier 2 where he doesn't belong.
He doesn't belong. You don't.
Yeah,
No, he does not belong there.
My initial gut feeling was move him, and now I think we leave him. Hey, why did Real Woods not
Your
compete
evidence
this year?
to
What's
suggest he should
doing?
be tier 2 is because he got pinned by Pat Lugo, the number 1 seed.
Yes. Listen, Pat Lugo would be a tier 1 guy if he were in the field this year. He would not be some separated dude. He lost to Sasso last year. He lost matches. He is like on
Correct.
that level. And he
One time they wrestled, he got thrown to his back is all I'm saying.
Okay,
Like,
and
it
that-
was a fluke. in
So
my
when he
opinion.
wrestles tier 1 guys, he has lost every time. Has he ever beaten a title contender other than
So
Bryce
you think
Meredith?
he's down here in tier 2 with Murin and Carr and Bo Bartlett and Yaya Thomas and Deegan and Alira?
I
I
think
want
he
to
would
move Bo Bartlett to tier 3.
Do it. I think.
Yeah, he has 4 wins over non-qualifiers at 141 pounds this year.
Listen, I'm putting him there. That's just
Hey,
my
guys,
opinion.
what happened
Over
to Real
Griffin
Woods?
Perriott and Bryce Andonian? Come on, Christian. Michael Block has
Guys.
just beat Yaya Thomas, and he's tier 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think over the
Move
course of
down.
the season.
You have Bartlett way too high right now.
Yeah, I'm high on Bartlett.
Doubt.
Throw him out. You can him out. That's why I
him
do
out.
him initially. Listen, I haven't done anything as bad as put Eric Baroni tier 1
No, you have not.
like someone did last year. So I think I'm still doing okay. But listen, Boo has never beaten an elite title contending guy that I can recall, other than when he beat Bryce Meredith when he was.
Well, then
second
has
string.
Brock Mahler since Boo Long's not tier 1.
That's a good counterpoint.
Good logic.
Who won the O'Connor match?
O'Connor.
O'Connor beat him. That was super close as well, right?
It is, yeah.
4-3.
And also
And why
Mahler,
does-
Mahler has the Jurgen Jensen loss too.
He does. That's his one loss in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah,
And he looks like he's
Does
over
Caden
Dagan.
Store get moved out because he got headlocked or what?
twice. Don't.
Kanesaur is in tier 3.
I think tier 3 is fair for.
I
for
do too,
Kanan.
because he has wins over Rooks and Van Brill in tier 3. Or in tier, should be tier 4.
So, all right, Yaya. I still like Yaya in tier 2. Maybe we should move Bo to tier 3. I kind of acknowledge I got excited. I got excited. It's fine. He's tier 3. That's fair. That's like fringe AA could place. No one. I don't think there's any way Bo Bartlett is in the top 4 or 5 this year, even though he's good and impressive. I'm probably higher on him than most. This tier 2 is pretty interesting. I think this is a pretty tough tier. Andrew Alirez, Jarrett Dagan,
Yeah.
Yaya
I like
Thomas,
it.
Michael Carr, Max Murin. That's salty. Those guys are really tough. You don't think
Griffin Perriott. Who's he lost to? Why is he not in tier 2? I'm gonna look him up real fast.
Griffin's an interesting one? Just
He hasn't
he's
wrestled a lot
undefeated
this
this
year.
year.
yeah.
How many matches?
4?
4 matches, but he's beaten 55, 41, 34, and 49. So not terrible guys, not great guys.
He beat Omanya and Van Brill, which is notable. He's just
He
been.
just pinned Rooks.
And he beat freaking Yaya at Big Tens, which I forgot. I forgot he beat Yaya.
He's
He beat
Griffin's very
Yaya
up and down.
Cole Martin.
He has like hot streaks where he beats those guys, and then he also has his cold streaks too. So he's an up and down guy. He's tough to place.
Beat Max Thompson at CKLV last year. Beat
He does have a lot
Purinton.
of losses last
I
year.
think,
he
man.
was 16 and 11 last year. Oof.
Perriott should be tier 2, I think.
I
Looking at
kind of
this,
felt like that, but now I'm looking at his record. He has so many losses last year.
that's why he's weird to place, because he can beat a lot of the guys that are in tier 2, but he can lose to guys in tier 3 and potentially tier 4, and
100%.
has.
And that's why, that's why he's
So you
very
kind
tough to
of
place.
split the difference and put him tier 3. I think that's fair.
Mhm.
We're not
Yeah, that's fair.
we're aware of his capabilities, but the problem is at the NCAA tournament you have to put the whole thing together, right? You can't just you can't be Ryan Deal and you pin Nick Lee and then that's it, right? You got to follow it up.
Hey, what about my man Bryce Andonian? He only has 1 loss to Austin O'Connor. He has a win over Josh Heil, Eddie Scott, and 7-1 on the year. Can we move him up or no?
I have a hard time with in
Probably
his
not.
matches. He's
I wouldn't yet, but
he is shaky in matches. He's one of those guys where he's never out of the match, but the guy he's wrestling is also kind of still has a chance a lot of the time
Always in
too.
the match. Yeah,
Right?
for
He's
real.
just kind of he's crazy. He's that's it. He's a crazy style, crazy wrestler, unreal skill. I like him a lot, but I think if Griffin Perriott is in that class, Bryce doesn't have wins on the level of Griffin or
No.
even close to. So
he really got
Yeah.
hurt by having no NCAA tournament last year because he got pulled. His retro got pulled late in the season. So really, he only hit O'Connor. So yeah, he hasn't gotten to see a lot of the top 10 guys at this weight.
yeah, he'll now. the ACC outlook there for him. Dude, Ed Scott kind of wrestled him tough, I thought, in the duel.
Yeah, because he's crazy too. So they just do crazy things to each other.
Yeah, they just try pinfalls all the time.
Yes. I said the week of that match, I thought someone was getting pinned.
I still maintain that was an option in that match. So ACC at 149 is O'Connor, Andonian, Scott, and then it kind of falls off after that, right?
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember. Hang on.
It's a Kimmer, I think, at 49.
Luke, yeah.
Yeah, fine silver. So Mick Burnett.
Oh, they went with Mick Burnett. Yeah, that's another. Pitt inserted the freshman Mick Burnett in the lineup late in the season. It looks like they're going to go with him.
So, dude, that semi is huge for the ACC. Andonian versus Scott, like the NC State versus Virginia Tech matchups are going to be really, really big there. It's same with 125. Yeah, gonna be an awesome tournament. Okay, that was tier 3. This is a fun one. This is a pretty fun weight. And yeah, you mentioned Real Woods. I guess he's not wrestling.
What's he doing with his life?
I have no idea.
He's not wrestling.
Were you told that?
Not wrestling
Yes.
this year, or just like where's he gonna go
No,
next
not
year?
not
Michigan?
wrestling this year.
Where's
Why?
he going next year?
I don't know the exact reasons why, but I don't know.
Do you have a good source?
I do.
Okay. Was it real?
It was not.
Okay. Man, they did that whole dang piece about him. I mean, he doesn't even wrestle in their last season. I am so mad at Stanford. The bums. What are they doing? And obviously, I'm talking about the university, not the team. Very unfortunate. I guess I don't blame him for leaving, but it'd be cool to see him in the. Dude, it's gonna be funny. He's gonna be like,
count. The problem is it doesn't count against him. So why not?
I don't know. I don't understand. The thing, it's going to be funny going into next year because Real will be like undefeated basically, except for like a Nick Lee loss, and he's still not going to be ranked that high because he still.
Is it Pletcher loss?
And Pletcher, yeah, he lost to Pletcher, but he also lost to Nick Lee his true freshman year. So we still are not quite sure where he fits in the pecking order, and we won't next year until he really hits some more good guys. So I'm curious where he ends up transferring to. Obviously, Stanford won't be an option. Man, that's quite a sweepstakes, though.
Yes. No,
Gun to your head, who's it going to be, Christian?
We know who you think.
Who?
Who do I think?
You think
Michigan?
Yeah, Ben thinks Michigan.
I think so, too.
I was just joking about that, but I
think that makes sense.
Okay, Izzy, two Luan and Regis that are there, they're old Izzy teammates.
Izzy, Montini, I think the whole thing's a fit.
It's a good school.
Academic power. Yeah. I think it's a fit across the board, and he fits in their lineup, too. I think that
41's their weak spot this year.
41, I think 40. He could go 49 too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I could see him growing out of 41 and being a 49 pounder. That's where I would want him. And I think our man's Joey Silva. I don't know what's up with him, but I don't think we'll see him, unfortunately. So yeah, bring him over. I think Michigan makes the most sense. If you had to, I mean, I have no idea, but that to me on paper looks very logical.
I'm still upset about this Boo thing. If you're gonna bring Boo down to tier 2, Mahler needs to come down too because he only beats Boo in sudden victory or overtime.
I thought we left Boo in tier 1.
We left him. Listen, that's why we discuss. I fought it a little bit, and I don't know why I can't prove it in results. But
almost majored Andrew Alear has beat Brayton Lee, has multiple wins over Jared Degan. Only losses past 2 seasons are to Mahler in overtime.
What are you upset about?
Well,
Lugo.
Listen, the fact is,
we already said you're right.
The mere suggestion is offensive to Steve, and that's okay. I can be like that too sometimes. It's fine.
I think it was that and the Bartlett thing. What was that?
Well, yeah, because that would have had Boo and Bo in the same tier. Almost. Yes, it would have. That's hilarious. Okay, so that would have been bad. See, that's why we discuss these things as a family, and we come to conclusions. And Boo is still tier 1.
I was still on it because I thought you outvoted me, Ben, and moved him down.
I would not pick him when I would be surprised if Boo won and made the finals. Both those things would surprise me, which to me thinks that's not a tier 1 person. But I can't really prove it with results, with Brock's results or Boo's results. So I can't make the case It's just my feeling. I don't see him in the finals. I don't see him winning. And I love Boo. But that's just my opinion. All right, let's do.
I think we should do 57 because I think it's pretty easy. I don't have really any disagreements with pretty much anything you put up there.
Okay, wonderful. So 157 tier 1 is a lot easier. I think it's easier. Ryan Deacon, Hayden Hidley, David Carr. I think that's tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
No one even should be in any argument with that whatsoever.
Well, the only argument is like, should Carr go down? Right? Could that be
why?
Just I don't know.
He's savage this year
because he lost those guys. I don't want to. I put him there. I'm just saying that would be the discussion. Certainly, no one.
David Carr this year is 12-0 with 10 bonus.
That's good.
I think also what you have to like look at too is not just like, would you be surprised if they make the finals? Like, look at who the tier they would be moving into.
Yeah,
and it's like, he is clearly a step above these people.
Right.
Yeah.
So the next tier 2, is Jesse Delavecchia, Caleb Young, Brayton Lee, Kendall Coleman, and I feel good about that tier stopping right there with Kendall.
I was kind of questioning it, and then I was looking through some of the stuff, and I'm totally good with it.
So then that makes the next tier 3, Jarrett J. Hughes, Brady Berge, Justin Thomas, Ja'Cory Teamer, Will Luan, Hartman, Franek, Willis. This is kind of a bigger tier maybe than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Vandermeer and Ruffin.
No, I think this is good.
Yeah, that's right.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, yes. I think they're all good as well.
I kind of felt initially like some of the guys in the upper tier 3 maybe should be considered a tier 2. And after looking at some resumes, I like it exactly where it's at. I don't really feel like there's anyone that should move. So I'm good with it.
Yep. And, like Ja'Cory, someone I think we would have said, hey, maybe this is a guy that can enter that conversation. But he got beat pretty decisively by Justin Thomas in the duel. I think it was 6-2. So I haven't really seen that. I know this is when you really need Ollie Stone, because he is Mr. Ja'Cory, he is Mr. Long Island.
Oh, really?
He would be really mad right now. So I'll try to bring this up organically.
Ja'Cory just hasn't done it in college. I mean, he has some tremendous skill, but we haven't seen that really manifest itself at the collegiate level.
He was really coming on at the end of last year. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen what happened at NCAA's. Look how he finished.
Let me go back to that. He lost to David Carr, but he also lost to Peyton Robb 5-0. He lost to Justin Thomas. Deacon, obviously, excusable, and he lost to Justin McCoy. I mean, when you say those losses, that's not a guy who you think is going to challenge for an NCAA title or something, which is, I think, what people thought of him kind of originally coming out of high school.
And then he finished the season, though, on like a 13-match winning streak, beating Jared Jacques, Josh Humphreys, and AC Headley.
Yeah, it would have been.
I guess remember that true freshman year when him and Brayton Lee and Sammy Sasso were all in the same bracket, and he beat both of them. I mean, I think that's when people were going nuts about him, and then he had all those losses last year.
Yeah,
he's a hot and cold guy too.
Yes. Big time.
Yeah.
And when you're he doesn't have like go-to offense, right? He's a little counter-reliant. A little maybe is a lot. I don't know. But he can shoot, right? He's got the attacks, but it's like he doesn't pull the trigger, I think, enough.
Consistently, yes.
Yeah. But he's a guy. He's someone, listen, he's in like one of the tier 2 guys, like, or tier 3. Yeah, tier 2 guys, like, no one's happy to see Ja'Cory.
No one.
You're freaking out. You're like, oh my gosh, am I cradled by this guy? Like Brayton Lee, if he draws him early, that's crappy. Like Brayton's gonna be like, oh geez, Kendall Coleman, Caleb Young.
I mean, if you pick the guy most likely in tier 3 to move up, I think it's probably him. But I don't think he fits in with those tier 2 guys right now. He hasn't had the consistency.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wonder if Berge could be a guy that could do that as well. He's not quite scoring as much as I think we always knew he was going to be kind of a limited. He's not going to be a dynamo. He wasn't going to be a Zane type of dude. But, a 3-1 over Luan and Cleary. yeah, he's probably just going to be there in that tier 3, which is still slotted to potentially place, but low AA for Berge. And that's pretty much 157. That's it. There's other names down there, but we won't get into them. Wyatt Sheets would have been a guy. I've been like, this is a tier 3 guy that can push for tier 2, but like that guy is not who we're seeing this year at all. With this injury, it's clear he's really, really limited.
Who on Oklahoma State's team is not injured in some relatively major
Dayton
fashion
Dwayne
right now?
Fix is
It
not
appears
injured.
Dayton is not. It appears Mr.
AJ
Fast
Ferrari.
Twitch is not.
Yeah.
Whitlake
Healthy.
does not appear to be injured.
A couple.
Mastro's not injured. Austin Harris.
He didn't wrestle in his last match though, so maybe.
A few people asked what's up with G Feller. He can't make 41. I mean, most of his matches he's wrestled this year have been at 57.
Oh my gosh. What happened? How does that happen? Because remember, the whole thing was like he's too small for 49. Now he could be starting at 41. That's unfortunate.
So 2 matches at 57, 3 at 49. He has a loss to Riley Gurr.
Gurr?
Gurr.
Oh my gosh. It's disappointing. I mean, I thought G could have been. I mean, he was undefeated. He won the scuffle. He pinned Nick Lee. Like, it was all looking like Caden G. Feller's going to be a really good college wrestler, and then it just hadn't happened. It's disappointing because I'm a big fan of his. But it's not over. So don't say
Can
it's
we get
over.
to this first question? Because
Well,
I'm very
Kyle
curious
thinks
to
it's
what the
over.
answer is. Piles.
Okay.
Someone's trying to pick on me.
Okay, that's the second question. We were trying to figure that out too.
He sent another tweet.
I think is he talking about Zane?
No.
Okay.
It's got to be
Hang on.
someone in their current lineup, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
it's the Rocky. He sent another tweet. Identified him as an early title contender, wrote off as a major disappointment after an early season loss, and now says he knew all along he was going to contend for a title. Can you name that wrestler? More importantly, can you pronounce his name?
I don't think we ever said that. I think this guy's one of those fans that just makes stuff up, huh?
Yeah, you said. I remember we were like, yeah, he's been a little disappointing, but we're like, we're not selling our stock in him yet. Like, and also it's not true that he's the leader in career bonus point percentage in that Penn State lineup.
If you're saying that is some.
It's Nick Lee has more than him. Aaron Brooks has more. Nick Lee's 66%, Starocky's 53%, Brooks is 56%, Kirkfleet's 72%, and Starocky is at a 28% bonus percentage this year.
He beat all his men. He beat. I'm sorry, you may not like this, Ben, but he beat Kradiger 5-3. What is this?
I know we talked about the match. We
shouldn't have.
literally talked.
We shouldn't even have.
We talked about the match.
Charlie Van Dyne, you're on a. I don't even know who you are, but you are. We're not going to ask your questions anymore. You're on a 1 week timeout from questions. That is terrible. It's not even true.
Yeah,
He made up these as bonus points.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he majored Phil Spadafora, and he tech-followed Robert Dieters, but besides that, it's overtime, 5-3, 4-1, and a loss.
And a loss, which that hurts your bonus rate if you don't beat the guy. So what? He just made that
All right.
up.
Good. I wanted to make sure I wasn't really getting roasted. You roasted yourself, Choli.
No, he deserved to be roasted.
Yeah,
I'm in a roasting mood today.
Yeah, let's roast it. But you know what? I honestly thought this was, because I didn't see in Penn State's starting lineup. I just thought like Penn State history or something. Doesn't score enough to win at the college level. I thought he was talking about Zane, referring to when you were like you didn't think he would like pin Max Murin or tech Max Murin. I was like, okay. Because that would be a fair dunk because you were way off on that. He would absolutely early termination against Max.
Hey,
Aaron.
we'll never know. We'll never know. I said he would beat him by like 13 points. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but he would tech him
Or pin.
Oh my god. You can't prove that. You can never. Prove
we
that.
can't. You're right.
You're right.
Just like we'll never know if Kyle Dake wrestled Reese Humphrey in the semi or the final.
Yeah, we'll never know.
No, that was a joke. This is not.
So I like this question from CJ Kemp. Why don't companies like Rudis, A6, etc. go after guys like Punya and Sidikoff for their own signature shoes? Pretty sure they sell like crazy in the States. I don't think that's
I know
the
for
case
sure
right
that
now.
I know that Rudis has been in talks with Punya and
wow.
I think it didn't work out. But I'm not saying that they never will. But I know they were in discussions with him for sure.
So I think there are some international stars that potentially would have some appeal. A guy like Chimizo, a guy like who has a Nike endorsement. A guy like he doesn't have a signature
Some of the
shoe.
Russians.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe Sajalayev, but like I bet there are more people in America that know Max Murin than Zauerbek Sidikov. I bet that's true.
Ooh, I don't know.
I bet
Yeah,
that's true,
maybe.
man.
That's 100% true.
It's true. So he declared it true. 2 out of 3 says it's true. And that's like, listen, that's to me, that's not a good thing. That's not good at all. And hopefully over the next couple of years, we can have a role in growing the brand of the international stars, because I think that's, listen, when the highest level thing is not the most popular thing in the sport, that's not good. Like NCAA shouldn't be the most popular. It probably will
really,
be for
those companies though would need to figure out how to monetize those home markets. I mean, they would need to figure out how to monetize Punya in India, for example, or
Yeah.
Sidikov in Russia would be the move. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, man. That's really hard to do.
Yes, I think it's gonna be tough, but I think we're still a bit away from these guys getting deals that are actually that you can really monetize here in the States. Okay, Actual Cannibal. We continue to ask this guy's question because he asked better questions than Charlie Van Dyne.
This is that Army guy, the Army Hammer actor. This is his burner account.
Wait, what?
This guy, he's a cannibal.
What? You gotta. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Army Hammer. It's a stupid name, okay? But he's an American actor, all right?
Uh-huh.
And it just came out recently that he might like human flesh, like for real. So
What?
This is his burner account.
What? This guy is. What is this?
We don't know what you're talking about. Save that for an alien hour, Brad. No one knows what you're
It's
talking
not
about.
even alien hour. It's just facts.
I think it's Alien Hour material. Also, we never talked about
The alien hour.
Ben. We never talked about Bracky's Twitter got totally hacked. Did you see
He
this?
did?
Oh yeah, he lost his
No.
account
I lost my count. I was out.
for days.
I was down and out for about 48 hours. Some
I
random
got hacked
person.
by a Russian one time. Not good.
They didn't do anything with it. They're like, RBY's got hacked recently too, and they were like tweeting stuff and like unfollowing people and blocking people.
Block me.
They did nothing with mine besides change my handle, my bio, and like my avatar picture.
That's what they did to mine.
So we theorized that it could have possibly been Jamie Spears trying to silence me
Yep.
and put a conservatorship over my Twitter account.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
Oh God.
Guess what, Jamie? You didn't win.
It's Bracky.
Hashtag
fun.
free Britney.
Free Britney. Okay. So Actual Cannibal asks, am I crazy for being super impressed with Nolf last night? He looked big, initiated 100% of the action, came super close to scoring, and pretty much lost on one exchange. Any chance of him making the team anytime soon, or will Dake be the Burrows to Nolf's Dake?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I love Jason Nolf, but he only got scored on once because Kyle Dake didn't really try scoring on him once he was up 5-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Kyle Dake had needed to score, maybe he couldn't have, but there's definitely a chance he could have also.
Right. I did not come away neither impressed nor unimpressed with Nolf. He performed kind of how I expected, able to kind of get in on occasion, but not able to score. And I don't even know if he will be the Burrows to Nolf. I mean, that assumes a lot of Jason, of him. He's got to get by Imar. He's got to just to even get to the second or third rung. I think he's got a little bit to go. So, I mean, I'm impressed, but that's a very Dake win, right? Like, you're not scoring, and the time you get the closest to scoring is the time actually I'm in the best position because I'm Kyle Dake and I do stuff no one in that room is doing to you.
Correct.
Okay. Quick improvement in the Big Ten is tough. Which team's improvement would be a reasonable goal for Maryland and Alex Clemson to try to emulate? Michigan State, maybe, Purdue, Rutgers. Go Terps. So yeah, not Rutgers is like Rutgers took. Actually, Rutgers, people forget because they kept not having guys place, but in like 2010, 2011, Rutgers had very good teams. They had like good dual teams. They were winning matches. They just couldn't get guys on the podium. And then Anthony Perotti gets 8th, and it's like, oh, this program has arrived. When really they had way better teams previously. So yeah, maybe Rutgers is a template. And they did that a lot.
Michigan State should be the goal.
That's the goal.
That's what you need to get to first, and then you get to Purdue, and then you get to Rutgers.
Then you get to Rutgers like 2011 level, and then you get to Rutgers, later.
But they got a long ways to go to get to those levels, guys.
Oh, for sure. But they're recruiting really well. But
yes.
I mean, listen, that was one of the worst rosters. I mean, in D1 when he got him, and those guys are still, it takes time. He's got to recruit.
Yeah, it's much harder to do in a sport like wrestling, where opposed to football, you have 25 scholarship guys you bring in every single year, and they're all on full rides. In wrestling, you have 9.9, and you got to split it up. But they have 4 guys signed in the top 100 in the class of 2021. I think they signed a couple of top 100 guys last year.
They did.
Yeah, it's just going to take time. It's not an overnight thing. I think they're...
Man.
And it's tough.
They got shut out in 5 of the 8 duels they've been in.
Well,
this
listen,
year.
that's the thing, man. And when you're only allowed to wrestle Big Ten, you don't even get to know if you're improving. There's just no way to know.
Tough.
They could have been going to a bunch of opens. They could have dueled a bunch of other teams, hit a bunch of East Coast teams, duel a rider, duel of this team, duel of that team, and then you can see, okay, they're coming along.
So
it's tough to measure it.
The one thing I would say is usually when you see a head coach that's going to have a big difference go somewhere, you'll see like 1 or 2 guys at least really buy into whatever the hell they're selling and get pretty good pretty fast. And when there's 5 duels where you don't win a match, right? You have who's the guy? Who's the guy that's
Ben, was there anyone on that roster? Was there anyone on that roster that could take a jump like that? Like, there was no one.
I'm saying we always see that when there's a new coach somewhere. Where there's 1 or 2 guys that buy in.
Where have we seen that with a roster that was this bad that was inherited? I'm serious. Like, this was really bad.
How was it that bad?
Bad. I mean,
look at how
McCoy. You're saying Karen McCoy recruited nobody that was any good.
I mean,
they were that bad.
The results speak for themselves.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a good way to say it.
Look at
their recruiting classes.
Look at the recruiting classes, and then look at the dual and Big Ten championship results for the 5 years previous. I mean,
I'm looking 2 years ago. I'm on there. I'm on the way. Oh, they were 0-9 in conference duels, 2-12 to overall.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so no difference.
Yeah, they just don't get the
non-conference
out of conference.
Yeah.
They don't get to
They only got shut out twice that year.
Yeah.
Let me look. Here.
Listen, the team.
Oh, they were. Man, how long has it been since they won a Big Ten duel?
I looked this up. I think last year.
They did not get shut out at all in 2017.
Well, they had like Hamida then, which helps if you have a heavyweight that good. I mean, being shut out should not be the bar, right?
They did not win a Big Ten duel in 16, 17, 17, 18, or 18, 19.
So let's look at 15, 16.
I don't know. Being shut out that's so demoralizing. They also did not get shut out in 2016, 2017.
They beat Michigan State January 10th,
2016. Barack Obama was president. Barack Obama was president the last time they had a Big Ten dual win.
Okay. Wow. Hey, we're 5 minutes over. I actually got to do something today.
So, excuse me, Kate.
Oh, you gotta go.
Sorry, I gotta go box.
Check in with.
Well, you guys are just gonna go get tacos. I know what you guys are doing. It's Wednesday. You're gonna go eat some tacos, hang out.
I know, but we're just talking like, we're gonna go eat tacos and hang out and talk about wrestling. You're probably gonna go be on Sports Center, noon hit or something.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing something with Mario Lopez on Entertainment Tonight. What are you doing with Mario Lopez? Don't lie.
I'm wrestling him, obviously.
All right.
What are you going to do right now?
I have a meeting with Max and starting in 10 minutes.
Oh, a meeting.
Future AWA, huh?
Oh, AWA Austin coming
Well,
summer.
not Austin yet. Not
Summer
Austin yet.
2021. All right, we'll see you there.
Oh, that's too early. That's too early.
Too early. It's too soon. Texas isn't ready for this level of wrestling. All right, thanks so
Especially when
much
the
for
pipes are
listening.
frozen.
We're good now. It's 75 now. Thanks, Ben. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. More tiers, more. We'll probably go ACC previews. We got a lot to talk about. So much to get to that we didn't get to today. Wrestling season, you gotta love it. Talk to you later. Thank you.